Joining me now is Ron Jaworski. And Ron, of course, everybody's trying to figure out what the Eagles are going to do. Let me get your opinion, first of all, on what they should do in free agency. What should they be looking for at what positions?
Well, Derek, it's still very early in the process. You know, right now we're talking about free agency, then the draft, and the second round of free agency will be coming up. So there's a long way to go before teams are formed. But I think if you look at what the Eagles did last season during the regular season, because there was no postseason, you know, unfortunately, you have to say, where do they improve? And I think it's clearly on the defensive side. I think the offense is in a good position right now. It's a very prolific offense. The young guys have been together. So when you spin it forward to next season, where do you need help? Defensive side is really the area that they have to address in the draft and free agency.
Are the linebackers that they currently have a little bit on the smaller side? Is that one area they do need to improve on, especially in the middle?
No question about it. I think when you look at the team, the inside linebacker position is critical if you're going to continue to play the wide nine. And there's nothing wrong with the wide nine at all. People seem to think it was a downfall of the Eagles. It was not. It's all about personnel. You have to have the right players, you know, to play every defense. And if you're going to play the wide nine, I'm a true believer you need a stud inside linebacker. And I think if you look at the Chicago Bears, a good example of that, they're a wide nine team. Who's inside? Brian Urlacher, you know, 6'4", 255 pounds. You need those kinds of guys on the inside.
Let's go back to them committing a boatload of money to Michael Vick. We saw the inconsistent season he had. If he has another season like that in 2012, should the Eagles start looking for a quarterback of the future?
Well, Michael had an off season last year. I don't think there's any question of that, but he's still the quarterback of the future and the present right now. You know, Michael is still a rock-solid quarterback. And, you know, his only issue that I had, and I studied the tape last year, was ball security. He made a lot of terrific throws. He got better in his reading of the defense and getting the ball out of his hands, but the turnovers are the killers. You know, you can't have interceptions. You can't have fumbles, particularly in the red zone where the Eagles, you know, just seem to have an overabundance of turnovers. But I think Michael Vick is the guy, but eventually you're going to have to find that backup guy. You know, maybe it is a Trent Edwards. You know, Trent Edwards, who the Eagles recently signed, had some solid games in Buffalo in the right system. I think Trent Edwards, I'm not saying he's the future, but I think right now he's a stabilization at the backup spot.